This is Business Under Fire. Don't know what episode it is, but it is the second year. And today we got Rob Dornstein with First Fidelity Wealth Management. So welcome, Rob.
Thank you for having me on. I've been trying to get on your podcast for a while now.
It's not that hard.
I think it's more the timing thing.
What's your dog's name?
Rojo.
So live in the studio audience today, we have Rojo as well. So
Our spectator.
yeah, if we do anything wrong, she'll get us. But it's not that hard to get on this podcast. We were talking about the radio show that you do and the podcast and stuff. What's been your experience? When is your radio show and what's been your experience with it?
So my radio show is in WOAI. It got started about 7 months ago, just through the business that we're in. It was a form of advertising. And they said, hey, listen, get on WOAI. But they told us from the beginning, right, it's a very slow roll in the radio.
Yeah.
Because normally in business, the advertising that we're doing is pretty direct advertising. Like you advertise today and you get results out of it tomorrow kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Well, we've been on this radio show for a while now, and like we're finally getting leads that start coming in, people calling up a little bit, but then they call and get all the free stuff, but then you can never get a hold of them again. So I've been kind of like, dude, what's up with this? Does my radio show suck? This and that. And all the intel says, man, it takes 9 to 16 months to be a part of people's family that are your overall listenership, right? And so they're like, it just takes time.
I think they say that the podcast takes a minimum of 2 years.
I believe it. No, I believe it.
And so I started the podcast really as a form of kind of advertising, but I've kind of stretched away. I said, well, I'm doing the podcast for 3 reasons. Number one is if somebody has a restaurant that they've had for a long time, you know, and interested in owner financing or working some type of deal on that, like a long-term established restaurant, I would want that.
Yeah.
I never even say that on the podcast.
Well,
but I would. And I think that, like, do you have somebody like structuring your stuff? Because I have nobody structuring jack shit telling me what to say.
Everything is structured. I mean, I do it every Monday morning at 9 o'clock. I got my setup, not nearly as fancy as your setup is, but I travel with it. So if I'm down south at the Key West house, I take it with me, fire my computer up, and the day before they put a script, it's edited, it goes through compliance. I don't do crap. So don't make me sound like I've got some, because I don't do anything. All the scripts are written, which I never look at.
I would like to be a little more structured, but then you get people in here that have never done a podcast and they're shaking.
Yes.
These are guys that are, you know, we've had guys in here that run gigantic businesses, and it's interesting that they get so nervous.
Did they actually dress up for a podcast?
Well, they get dressed up. Yeah, no, some of them come in dressed really nice.
Yes.
But it's been so much fun it's been almost a year and a half, a year and 3 months. And I've always, and I don't know if you've known this or paid attention, but I've always been interested in business.
Oh, yeah.
So it's whoever's doing and how they run it. And I've known you for, I don't know how long, probably 15 years now.
I think it's longer than that, because I looked at, you know, when you and I were talking, I still got the picture up when you and I were in Port Aransas.
Gosh.
And I don't know how long ago that was. We were skinny, though. Good Lord. Skinny and young.
You still are. I'm working my way back down slowly. I just started, and I'm being very good. I actually grabbed a piece of candy this morning and put it back. And the only thing that I'm starting to relate to, like being very cautious on your eating and what goes into your mouth, is I'm relating it to not drinking.
Okay.
And we were at the baseball game at Texas Tech. They have a nice spread, all kinds of buffet. And of course we want to go over there. I said, I can't go over there. I can't.
Yeah. No.
So I just did it. And you haven't drank for a while, right?
Yeah, I've been on the wagon. Well, not even on the wagon. I'm just not even. There's just no turning back on that. So I'm like, I just don't drink anymore. Everybody's like, oh, you're on the wagon. I'm like, no, I'm not on the wagon. I'm just decided to quit drinking. So
yeah.
And
but you eat really clean as well too.
It was, for me, quitting drinking was one thing. And then, one thing at a time, right? So quit drinking for a little while. And now, it's back to eating a lot healthier, a lot of fruits and vegetables. And I don't like vegetables. So sometimes it's like, oh, God. But,
I think these disciplines, though, this is business under fire. And a lot of the disciplines that we're doing outside of our business have the same thing to do with in your business. Because how many days and how many months have you not wanted to show up for work?
I'm ready to go every single day. And that's part of the problem with having a business and your wife being COO of the company. Like, you work during the day and then you go home at night and you want to sit down and have a nice meal. And guess what you end up talking about? Work, because you have so much work that goes on. And it's not one business, it is multiple businesses between the storage units and now the RV park and the financial planning business. I got woken up the other day with it's probably a good thing, but it was a VRBO reservation. It was at 3:30 in the morning. So guess what? My day started at 3:30 in the morning because now you're up, you're looking at it, you get that text, and next thing you know, your mind is running. There was no going back to bed after that. So it's like how many hours do you work per day? I'm like, from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. Like, there's no weekends. It's just nonstop. And pretty sure you're the same way with restaurants. There's no stopping that.
No. So for the people that are listening, what you're saying that, what does it work-life balance look like to you?
It's not.
There's no such thing.
It's no such thing. No. We literally have to, Heather and I literally have to go, we're not talking about work. And then we're catching ourselves all the time. Like, the conversation all of a sudden, hey, by the way, do you have, I'm like, oh, that's work. Nope, stop. Heather this weekend actually went to the house down south, and that was one of her goals, was just to, always tell people, if you want to grow your business, you got to get out of the business. Like, you can't grow your business while you're always in it.
Yeah.
And so her being COO, I always encourage her. I'm like, you got to get away from the business to be able to look at the outside in, to be able to see what needs to be managed. Because if you're in it all the time, you don't see half the crap that goes on. It's weird.
And then it starts, if you're away from the business, you are looking at it on a micro or a macro vision. And then I went to the restaurants up in Lubbock this week. That's where I've been for 5 days straight.
Yeah.
And damn, they start throwing you into every single fire and turn. You're like, man, I didn't see this.
No.
And the good news is when we have problems, and you're probably the same, it doesn't take long to clean them up anymore.
No, it doesn't, because I think you're looking at it from such a different scale. And I think new businesses, like, everything is a major ordeal.
Yeah.
But I think when you're running multiple businesses like you are, like, listen, I got a 6-month, I got a 12-month, I got a 3-year, 5-year goal. And whatever you're trying to rope me in right now, I'm sorry, that doesn't work into the 6, 3, 5 months. So it's something that needs to be addressed. It doesn't need to be addressed. And this always sounds cocky, right? But I'm sorry. I know there's a problem, but this is not the problem that I handle. Because if I'm having to handle that particular problem, then I've got a management problem. So, from a bigger scale, you're looking at who does what and making sure that you trust your employees to handle what you've given them, and that's, I think sometimes for new business owners, that's the hard part. It's like, let the people do what they do.
And it's learning to say no. Like, your problem is not something that I'm going to deal with right now. No. And it takes a lot of growth and development to get to that. It took me probably a year. Whenever I would leave Lubbock, I would tell people, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Well, I was lying to them. Because I'm going to Port Aransas. I'm not going to go see him tomorrow. We went from one restaurant to 9 different places. So I'd say, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I was like, damn, I got to stop that.
Because you're not going to see him for a month.
So now I'm like, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a crazy development. But where did you get started? How did you decide that you were going to get into First Fidelity Wealth Management?
Man, so that started serving our New Braunfels area community in San Antonio for going on 26 years now.
Yeah.
It started off as so years ago, I was a professional water skier for SeaWorld. Mm-hmm. And the way that SeaWorld worked is that when we first got started in 88 is when I started, 88, 89, SeaWorld used to be open full-time, right? It was 24/7, 7 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
And so we got hired on as full-time. Well, very quickly after the first couple years, SeaWorld realized that all their employees came from high school, college. And when all of a sudden school started in, they had trouble getting people to come work for them. And then secondly, they had trouble getting people to come work for them. And secondly, people weren't showing up to SeaWorld because school was in. So they changed to the schedule pretty much to the point where if school was in, SeaWorld was closed for employee-wise and park stuff-wise. And then all of a sudden, October, November, December, they just closed the park. So we went from being a full-time water skier, which was still my love, my dream, my passion.
That'd be a good job.
It was an awesome job, especially for the age that we were. But you found yourself out of work, Tommy, for 3 months out of the year. So first year they did it, we all collected unemployment because it kind of hit us. Second year, I think to be a professional water skier, you're pretty much an A-class personality type.
Yeah.
So we didn't stand for that the second year. So we all got jobs for 3 months out of the year. So here all the shenanigans start. Got your real estate license, doing anything that you could to keep yourself busy and keeping income coming for those 3 months. And then a buddy of mine, Scott, got into the insurance business. And that was kind of like, hey, I could do this part-time, but SeaWorld is my priority. But after work, I go peddle some insurance and this and that. And that kind of developed into, once I was done with skiing, into a full-time job. And, of course, met Heather, had the first kid to where, hey, water skiing is not it's wonderful when you're single and you make a good amount of money for being single and doing everything. But it's not something that's going to support, a family. So that kind of developed with the insurance stuff first. And then, added taxes on, added this on, added that on to now we're a full-blown wealth management company.
What were the early days of, and you call it, was it Rob the IRA guy then, or was it First Fidelity?
No, it was First Fidelity Tax and Insurance. And then from a marketing point of view, it was Rob the IRA guy. And so Rob the IRA guy was on all the marketing stuff. Yeah. But the name of the company was always First Fidelity Tax and Insurance.
Rob used to have a picture of him in some red shirt leaned up against a logo that said Rob the IRA guy.
Tommy still has. Yeah,
I do have a cup.
You still have the cup?
I got a cup. And then I there's Rob the IRA guy, because you were on billboards and New Braunfels and stuff. Like, there's Rob.
Yeah. And by the way, I still have people that come up to me like, hey, didn't you used to be Rob the IRA guy? Because, yeah, right, we had billboards all over town and we advertised on the radio and everything was the same, red shirt, black pants.
Yeah. Yeah. So the early days of First Fidelity, what were they like? Did you start working for someone else? How'd you learn the financial tax business?
Man, to me, it was fairly easy. Speaking of drinking, oddly enough, you learn a lot of stuff when you go to conventions, and people are tight-lipped when you go to the meetings. But then after the meetings are over, you are having beers with other financial advisors that have got 10, 15 years on. You're like, hey, how does this work? How does that work? So a lot of those conversations it wasn't so much financial planning; it was more marketing. And I say this all the time, like people go, "What do you do for a living?" I'm like, well, the end result is I give out financial advice, but my real job is I'm a marketer. Because at the end of the day, you can have all the financial planning in the world, but if you don't have people sitting in front of you to show your plans to, you're going broke. Yeah. So it's like, number one, I'm a marketer. Secondly, I'm a financial advisor.
And do you feel like it's like that for most businesses? That you've got to get, sales, marketing, if they're not coming in the door, you don't have a business.
Yeah, same thing with your restaurants, right? You could have the best cooks, you could have the best wait staff, you could have the best everything. But if you don't have people walking through your door, you're running a broke business and you'll go out of business.
So to the people that are wondering how to market, and me and you are still wondering how to market, and we've been doing this shit for 25 years. But run us through a couple of scenarios and things that you've tried on marketing that worked and didn't work, just so you have a story. Because everybody thinks, how many times have you failed at marketing attempts?
Oh, I fail every single week. Yeah. I fail every single week, and I still throw money away that I'm like, it's not going to work, but let's try it. Because you know what? Here's the whole thing. You might try 30 things, right? And you fail at 25 of them, or call it 28, and you're like, oh, man, I just peed away a whole bunch of money. But then the two that work are the two that makes you all your money. So it's kind of like, you got to go through the failures. But somehow what I haven't figured out yet is that I'm trying stuff in the past that I know hasn't worked, but yet here you are trying it again from a different angle. Like, golly, because I mean, ultimately what drives our business now is we do educational seminars at restaurants, right? And that seems to be what's working. Now, long shot here, which has been proven to work, we're on TV, we're on radio that we talked about earlier. And those things all work, which I think a lot of things in marketing will work. Do you give it enough time to make it work? And do you have the pocketbook to make that stretch out? Because, I mean, there is nothing. Marketing is just expensive.
It's expensive as anything, but that's the point that I want people to hear, whether it be a guy that's a painter, a lawn guy, a financial dude, whatever they are, is there's really no direct answer for what is going to work in your marketing. And then I guess if you find something that works, you can always rev it up, but I don't know how to rev it up to so much that you're like, okay, mercy. Have you had that happen where you're like, man, we're getting too many leads?
I have it. Unfortunately, I have got it every single week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We have got our marketing down to the point now where I'm looking for advisors all the time. And then my problem has been I've got the leads. I don't have people. I don't have enough people with quality knowledge to actually take those leads, because we're down to the point, Tommy, where on our marketing, you can ask me from my seminars what it costs to get people to a seminar.
Yeah.
You can tell me you can ask me what it costs to have somebody say yes. And then you can have somebody say, hey, yes, they come into the office, and yes, they've got a second appointment. I mean, I've got all my costs broken down to what I know what my client acquisition cost is at every step of the game. So, and I educate my staff on all of that, because sometimes, I got it. They are tired, but I'm like, hey, you just talked to a $378 lead that you said, don't worry about it. I will call you later. I'm like, what if you had $378? Because in essence, they just looked at, hey, here's Tommy Bonner. He's just the lead. And I'm going, from a business owner, yet it's Tommy Bonner. I love him. But that's $500.
Yeah.
Because that's what it cost me to get Tommy through the funnel at this point in time.
Yeah.
And so it's clients acquisition costs, and you can ask me what it costs from the beginning to end, and you can tell me what it costs. Radio leads right now are expensive because I don't have any lead. I'm spending all this money, but I don't have anything. So, but once you start getting leads, we're able to back the costs of that lead in. And so
there's a guy named Jason McCool. Have you ever heard of him?
No. What does he do?
He does the same thing as you.
Yeah.
And you'll have to start watching his stuff. And he's really coming out of his shell. He had a financial services business that he sold for, I don't remember what it was. It was like $200 million. And
way above my pay grade.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
Well, that just shows what he knows.
Yeah.
But he is in Florida, and he's kind of coming out of his shell since he sold his business and telling how he did this. And he used college kids a lot for employees.
Yeah.
And he recruits heavily out of colleges. So I'll send you his number. You have to start watching his stuff. He's an animal.
I would love to see it, because I am at the business where we're at right now. We're at the growth of our business to where, I have to make a call, and it's such a hard call, because I got to keep being a financial planner or I got to start being a trainer. And you can't be both, right? Because I think part of where my business is failing from a growth opportunity right now is I need to be training guys. I can't train people and see clients at the same time. And we went to a conference a while back, and somebody in my exact same position, business level wise, doing about 50 to 75 million per year in actual financial products per year. And a couple years ago, he was in the exact same boat we're in, kind of stressed out, working your butt off. And one day he said, no more. I'm not seeing any more clients. And all he did was focus in on his employees and his advisors and started going into coaching. And here he is 2.5, 3 years later. His business grew from 50 million. Today he's running 275.
See, and these are high-level executive decisions that you've got to make, because you're oiling you're putting oil on the gears in some spots because it's moving that ball forward. and taking care of the immediate needs.
Yeah.
When you should take yourself out and get to the coach and let that ball sit there for a little bit. And then once you get those gears oiled with your training, the damn rocket's going to take off. But it's so hard to take that step away.
So you just said 9 restaurants now?
Yeah.
How did you do it?
Well, an example of what you're talking about doing that we did, and it's always really interesting to me on what I discuss with my business now, because prior to the restaurant business, we did landscaping, right?
Yeah.
So I could go to your house, spend some time, and we're going to get $1,000 project or $5,000 or $20,000.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a big ticket item. Well, now when people call me, they're calling to reserve a table, and I'm going to sell them hamburgers and spaghetti.
But you sell enough of those.
Yeah,
it's way more profitable.
But it's it takes sometimes the same amount of time to get a group to a table as it does to sell a construction or landscape job. But one of the things that I did recently that I thought really worked well was we have a great chef down at Seafood and Spaghetti Works, and he's been there forever, and he's super talented, but he's always on one station doing everything, and he's our trainer. But we weren't training enough.
Yeah.
But as a business guy, we're trying to pick up the dollars. We're worried about today, right? We're worried about getting the food to the table that day. Yeah. And I told him a few months ago, no more. You will not work another shift on your own. You only work other people's shift training them. That's it. Well, that hurt for a little while because now we're paying 2 people to work a station, 2 people to do everything. We're not getting as much production out. But I didn't let him work a shift for 3 months. Well, what happened? My entire kitchen got faster, more efficient. The quality of the food skyrocketed. The presentation of the food is 10 out of 10 now. So it was a little bit of pain temporarily for long-term gain. And we have, me and you could talk for hours about the pains that we're going through on where we're at.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is if me and you go look for somebody to help us with these situations and scenarios that we're looking at, is those people are hard to find because you're in the top 1% of business owners and businesses in the world.
Yeah.
Once you get over 10 million. And so to find a high level coach to get you to where you want to go it takes time. And have you gone to any coaching?
Oh yeah, I'm in the middle of it right now. I mean, we are at that teeter-totter, right? You either because at the end of the day, we're running a high level shop, but it's only, really 2-3 advisors, and the amount of leads that I'm getting in and the knowledge that I've got between my ears, I could easily run a $200 million or $200 million shop.
Yeah.
But I haven't quite figured out how to shift. And as we're sitting here thinking or sitting here talking, I'm almost thinking about, man, I'm not the guy to do it. And I'm realizing that more, right? I'm a great financial advisor. Yeah. I'm a great marketer. I'm not a good management of people person.
Yeah.
And I'm going, just as we're sitting here thinking, I'm like, maybe I should just hire somebody somebody that is good at managing people and doing this, and let me be the financial advisor guy, and let me the ones that puts money on the table to fund everything, and let somebody else grow it, and let's maybe hire somebody else that's really good at doing that.
Well, I think that's a big lesson, is knowing your limits on where you can take the company as well.
Oh, yeah.
And there has to be a point, because we're not good at everything. We got it to where it was now, and you can get things so far by showing up at 7 a.m. and working till 7 p.m.
Yeah.
But at some other point, your team and the people in your group have to start rowing that ship.
And they got to trust you too. And like I said, I have learned a lot over the last couple of years, but managing people, it's just not my strong point. And I think that's why we're struggling as a business to grow past the limits. Because we are at the limit of what we can do. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing you said. You either keep it where we are, right?
Yeah.
And if we keep it where we are, then my next goal in the next 6 months is going to be, let's get it lean. I mean, let's cut all the expenses out and let's optimize what we've got. Mm-hmm. Or let's fatten it up and let it grow. But you're sitting on the fence, you will go broke.
Well, they say cruise control is a dangerous place to be.
It's dying.
And getting comfortable, one of the coaches that I know, he likens it to an airplane attitude indicator. He says you're either ascending, descending, or flying level, and there's no, up and down.
There is no flying. I have learned there is no level.
Yeah.
To me, a level business is a dying business. The whole, and I've been to a couple of those businesses where they're level and they don't realize that they're dying.
Yeah.
And the stench of the office is you walk in the office and you feel the mood is dark. And growing businesses, you walk in there, everybody's like, hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
It's just a different atmosphere of people that you see, right? And when your business is not growing, you feel it. Monday morning, people are not excited to be there. Everybody's pissed off. Everybody's like, are you? Versus when you have a growing business. And we saw that too when we still see it, although we are struggling. Show up Monday morning. Everybody at my staff is there Monday morning, ready to go. Half of them have their First Fidelity Wealth Management logo shirts on that they're not required to wear. But it kind of shows the attitude of what's happening within the firm. And I think Heather has done such a phenomenal job as creating that atmosphere. Because when we're talking about hiring and unfortunately firing people, Heather is all about culture of the office.
Yeah.
If she doesn't have the right culture in there, she's let people go on a whim and just kind of say, hey, listen, you're not the right culture.
Yeah.
You're not meshing with the rest of the group. It's time for you to go.
We do that in the restaurants, and we tell them that if you get every restaurant, if you have somebody in the kitchen, someone in the front of the house that comes in and we did a bad hire, which happens often, not all you pick up good hires, you pick up bad hires.
Yeah.
And they're not gelling with the team. Why we just get rid of them
Fast as possible.
And it's a crummy situation, but the longer I do this, the less emotion I have about it.
Well, because the same thing at the level that you're at. I mean, I'm sorry. I love all my employees, but at some point in time, it's like I can't get involved when their car broke down in the morning. It's like, come on, that was 20 years ago.
I
right?
know.
That was 20 years ago at the level that we just can't pay attention to it. Although we have to, but we have somebody that's, we literally, I have somebody in charge of my office, of the atmosphere of my office, employees and clients.
Yeah.
And if you ask me today which one I pay more attention to, it's employees first, clients second.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, even at the level that we're at, I can't do it without staff.
No.
So Heather always says the same thing, and I'm leaning towards it too. We recruit. Like tomorrow night, I've got a recruiting event for agents. We recruit.
Where is that at?
Tomorrow night, we're doing it at Paisanos.
How does a recruiting event look, and how do y'all promote for it?
We promote our recruiting event the exact same way we promote clients for dinner seminars. So instead of putting on a recruiting or a dinner event, educational event for clients, it's now an educational event for advisors.
And where do y'all advertise that at?
Same thing. We do postcards. We did Facebook for a long time till those damn people changed their algorithms, and Facebook is so freaking difficult to. Every single time. Here's how I see Facebook. It works phenomenally. Mm-hmm. It is so consistent till Facebook figures out to tweak it that they can make that more profitable, and all of a sudden your marketing doesn't work with them anymore. And 8 months ago, they changed their algorithm in the financial planning world, and now you can't use Facebook anymore.
Gosh.
It went from a very reasonable, hey, this is an inexpensive way to advertise, and now they made it more expensive. And it's like, oh my God. And you don't know that till 2 months later. You're like, man, why are my results sucking? How come my cost per client went up? How come this? And you start tracking it down, and then you finally go down to the bastard marketing people that are taking your money, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they're telling you?
No, they don't care.
They don't care. They just keep taking your money.
They don't care.
I had to actually figure it out when I looked at my acquisition cost of clients. I'm like, how come these numbers are so high? And come down. Facebook changed their algorithms. And what they did in my world, we used to be able to advertise for clients, and we used to be able to put age range on them.
Oh.
Age range and financial services.
Yeah.
Well, guess what Facebook did? If you do financial planning services, you can no longer do age groups. And if you do age groups now, it's no longer in financial planning, it's across the board. So when you used to spend $5,000 to reach your target audience, now you're having to spend 10 to get the same target audience. And those bastards never told anybody this. It's like, here comes the next part though, right? Because when you're talking about marketing, I think as business owners, you got to realize there's two sets of marketing out there. Mm-hmm. There's marketing for new clients.
Yeah.
But then there's marketing for existing clients.
Well, and that is a very, very deep dive on that you could take us down to the marketing for the existing clients. And most people, I would say, would suggest that your time, energy, and effort on the existing clients is better than your marketing for new clients.
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, we first and foremost, when they're a client, they already bought your goods and services. So it's like, well, you advertise to find those clients, right? And now you've got them. You already know that they like the goods and services. They trust you. So you better spend a lot of time and attention to them, because I will say this, over 50% of my business every single year comes from recurring existing clients and referrals from those clients.
Yeah.
And so I see a lot of businesses that are always like recruiting to new, and they forgot the old guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, hang on a second. The old guy is your bread and butter, but it's the balance between old and new.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was watching a YouTube thing the other day from a restaurant owner.
Yeah.
And he did such a unique thing marketing-wise. He was like, once a client goes to a restaurant more than 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Like, I think he said 4 times, and I might be wrong on this. But he said the 4th time that they come and they have a good experience, they'll keep coming to your restaurant forever. But you got to get them to come
3 times.
3, is that what it is?
Yeah, something like that, 3 or 4 times. John Taffer put on a thing like that. He's like, yeah, we put a red napkin over here.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Half of my staff couldn't tell you what red or blue is.
Oh, there's a problem.
That's not true, but it would be nice to have a staff so well oiled that they could do that. And if you could get into his example of the client acquisition and the times that they come, you would do really well. But I think the main thing between two guys that have been owning their own business for 20 years here is the current customers that you have, don't forget about them.
No, absolutely not.
And just like Rob said, 50% of your yearly business is because of current customers.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
which is nuts.
Well, if you think about it, there's a lot of businesses out there just don't realize how much that comes from those existing clients. I mean, when we do our dinner seminars, Tommy, if I have an existing client that comes, they get a separate badge, like a reservation badge, with a separate color on them, and they sit in their own separate section. And guess what? They sit in front of everybody. And I'll let everybody know, here's my client, here's Tommy, he's been with us for 15 years, blah, blah, blah. And so when those clients now come to one of our educational events, they're like, oh, holy cow, I am somebody, you know what I mean? And so we pay a lot of attention to those clients, and we just love on them. We do quarterly events for those clients, for just our clients. Last time we went to, good Lord, place in New Braunfels, the music venue, downtown. Brontex.
Yeah.
We did a wine and cheese thing and saw Dolly something for our clients. We had like 30 clients show up.
Nice.
And we rented the whole place out, and we had some wine and cheese next door, and this was just for our existing clients. And the only rule that I make for those types of events is we're not allowed to talk shop. So I'm like, when you come to those events, we're having a glass of wine, or they're having a glass of wine, they're having some cheese. If you want to set an appointment, great. Talk to me afterwards, or I'll have my assistant come say hi to you and set an appointment. But for tonight, it's just, how are you doing? How's your family doing? And there is no shop. I always tell business owners this, and it's weird, but it's like, if you're genuine and you're giving a gift to somebody, right? And then you give them a gift with a cup with your logo on it, that is no longer a gift. That becomes a cheap business promotion. So I'm like, be genuine in the things that you do for clients. Don't put your fucking logo on it. This doesn't make any sense. To me, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just not a genuine thing.
What does a ideal client for First Fidelity Wealth Management look like?
It is a client that is in need of a plan, right? So in our business, we talk a lot about tax planning. We talk a lot about income planning. We talk a lot about estate planning. Financially, I don't talk stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. I mean, it's like, well, that's the boring crap, right? I mean, it's like everybody's got stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. Your Edward Jones has them. Your JP Morgan has them. Everybody does it. I don't compete on that because it's just transactional crap. Where we compete at as a company, Tommy, is when is the last time that your tax advisor talked to your fiduciary advisor? When is the last time your fiduciary advisor talked to your elder law attorneys? Do those people ever communicate with each other? So we do a good job of tying those plans in together. And I am very quick to find out what my clients want to do and how they want to do it. And then really our first meetings are about, hey, do you need to help and do I want to help you? And so it's a different approach from a lot of advisors because a lot of them are very quickly into, well, this mutual fund performed this and that. And I get clients ask me that all the time. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm like, I have money managers to do that. I'm like, and probably the same way, like, Tommy, how's this hamburger made? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Go ask the chef. My job is to make sure you have a good experience in the restaurant. So the ideal client is the guy that's looking for a plan. They've got a hurt, they've got a need somewhere, and we can help them solve those problems. From
any age?
I do it from any age, but you get into younger age, and it's such a different feel. I think my business is a dying business, by the way, because we are already seeing it. I am 52. We are, what generation are we? We're the same age, right?
X, I think.
I think it's X.
Yeah.
But think about it. X is the first generation that's your do-it-yourselfer generation. Remember when we were home as kids? Our parents did what? Go figure it out. I'll be home at 7.
Yeah.
Right? And we had to go figure it out. Well, that generation is now retiring. And guess what they're doing? They're doing it themselves. So versus you start dealing with the generation that's 65 plus. Those are still the generation that went to go to a traditional financial advisor, right? They went to go here to go see the attorney. They went to go here. The younger generation, even think about it yourself. Do you really go see a financial advisor, or are you doing it yourself on the internet and blah, 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 blah?
Yeah.
And so I think for those financial advisors out there, if you think marketing is hard now, it's going to get way harder in the future because you now really are competing against the major firms that have been there for years. So I think my job is going to get, from a marketing point of view, it's going to get harder and way more expensive.
So how long do you plan on staying at First Fidelity and running it?
I am here to stay because at the end of the day, my 2 boys, Jack and Max, Colton is not interested in it at all. He's just, I say this all the time. 3 kids, 3 different personalities. I don't know how the hell it's possible, but that's what's happening in my world, right?
Yeah.
But Jack has been in the business. That's my middle son.
Yeah.
He's been in the business for a while. And then Max now joined the business too, which, by the way, that's part of the reason why I really got hot and heavy on the sobriety wagon. Because everything that Max has gone through.
Because Mad Max was a maniac?
Max was a little maniac there for a while. He just celebrated his 4th year of sobriety.
Well, that's good for Max and a big deal for him. I have a good story about Max. And
how many stories?
This is a great story, and it's an innocent story. And for all the people listening, it'll be a wonderful thing for them to hear. So Rob lived across the lake from me. It's a 5-minute walk, 2-minute boat ride, or 1 minute. So Max is at this time 9 years old, and I am happily married.
Oh, good Lord. I remember this story.
I'm happily married. I don't run around on my wife. I never have, never would. And Max comes over and he walks over on this beautiful sunny day, walks in, and my beautiful ex-wife is like, who's this kid? I said, well, that's Max, Rob's kid. And Max goes, oh, hi, ma'am. Mr. Bonner, weren't you with Jennifer last week?
Just dropped you right in the freaking grease. Didn't even think about it.
And I was like, wow, Max, no. And I wasn't. There was zero validity to this story. And man, did it cut deep for a couple of days. Who's Jennifer? Who's this? Or whatever the name was.
Like, get out of my house.
Holy moly, Max. What a good, didn't you tell me about this a few years ago and he had no clue?
He had no clue.
I love it.
No clue.
That'd be the same shit that would have come out of my mouth when I was his age too. So good for him.
Good. Not only that, well, Max just went down the road. The shit didn't stop coming out of his mouth for another 10 years after that. So, but now it is, through all the drug crap that he went through when he was a teenager, you ought to see him now. You ought to talk to him. That kid is so freaking wise. I mean, like, he did all the stupid shit you could possibly do your entire life, and he condensed it in 3 years. So, I mean, just revved it up for 3 years. And now you talk to him. He's so quiet in a way.
Yeah.
And his peripheral vision is so wide.
Yeah.
He knows what stuff is going on left and right all the time. And he reads people now. And he'll tell you, he's sometimes a little bit quick to judge.
Yeah.
Because he sees the patterns. He sees it.
That takes time though. I mean, that is high level stuff when you start talking to people and you can see the patterns, especially in your line of work. Same story, same this, same that. Like, oh, this is what's going to happen.
Yep.
And I've dealt with enough people on transactions where I'm like, okay, I see this. It's behavior patterns.
Oh, it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy. I could spot them a mile away.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I just from a business point of view, the clients that I don't like are my engineers. I'm like, oh, good Lord.
Engineers, accountants.
Engineers, real estate agents, and professors.
Yeah.
Those are all your do-it-yourselfers. Very quickly, like, okay, dude, what do you need? How can I get you the information? And how much information can I get to you? And when you're done, just call me.
Yeah.
Because those are very hard clients to get. Those are your typical do-it-yourselfers.
Oh, man. Behavior patterns in sales and marketing.
And then yourself too. As you say that, like as a business owner, you have your own patterns that you got to get the hell out of the way. Because if you don't, it's like, it's crazy.
What have you done in your business and as the owner of a business to get out of your own way? What's one example that you were just struggling, and then you made a change and it made a world of difference?
I'm going through it right now, realizing that I am not the person that's going to take my business to the next level. We're there right now, and the struggle is taking it to that next level. Your payroll goes through the freaking roof. It's kind of like literally a stock trying to get outside of its pattern, right? And and once it breaks the pattern, it'll probably go. But while it's getting there, it's we are new at this, and it's expensive as you're bumping your head against the side rails. In the meantime, the bills are just racking up. It's like, you bring on a new agent and you've got $300,000 invested in that agent, and he might or might not work out. And somebody goes, well, how come you got $300,000 invested into him? Like, well, somebody goes to work for us. They've got a family. They need to make a living. So it's not only the fact that you put that agent on payroll, but then after you put them on payroll, you still got to feed them leads.
Yeah.
So whatever I do for marketing, you got to do the same thing for that agent for marketing, and then you got to hire them to staff and blah, blah, blah. So hiring a new agent is not cheap, at least in my way, because I want to do it right. Now, maybe if you hire some young college kid.
Yeah, you're going to have to start listening and maybe go have a meeting with Jason McCool and watch who he is and how he's done it. And he runs through how he did his whole business, and it's all on focused on college kids, pay for performance, all of it.
Did he put those kids on salary, or he put them on commission only?
I think it's a really small salary with a good higher commission when they sell. But he's also taking people and that's why I kind of hit it off with him, is because my businesses up in Lubbock are, majorly college age student dependent.
Yeah.
And we have rock stars. So people talk about, oh, this generation doesn't work. They don't do this. And I've seen the complete opposite. I'll put both of those restaurants against anybody. I mean, both of those restaurants, both days this weekend had lines out the door all weekend at capacity, and they're not skipping a beat.
Yeah, but you know what? I've watched you grow the restaurant business since you bought the first one in Marion, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things I've always noticed that you have got away with people, and people trust you, and really, I mean, blow your own horn if you want, but people really admire the way that you do things. So I think you personally, from a leadership point of view, I think you've grown those businesses because people like to see you. How do I say it? You used to be. I used to have a boss called Tracy Cunningham at SeaWorld, and he was such an amazing guy, Tommy, that as a leader, right, if you were late for work and he didn't know about it, you would come to him 2 hours later and go, hey, cuz, I was late for work this morning. He's like, why are you telling me this? Because it's like, well, I just didn't want to disappoint you. Yeah. And I think when you grew the business in Marion, I kind of saw the same thing. People just trusted you and people wanted to work for you. And I think you've never let that go.
Yeah, well, we try, so thank you. But yeah, we try hard. And I mean, I try to really put people where they want to go. Yeah. And I think that's a secret also, is trying to find out. And we talk to the cooks, we talk to the bartenders, we talk to all the wait staff and find out what they want, what their dreams are. And if there's a spot to put them in our organization, then we get them. And that's the same thing. We just found a manager for one of our coffee shops in Paint Rock or in Amarillo that way. He came in, he was tired of his job at another place, and he had worked at Miguel's for a few years. And he's like, dude, I just want to work for y'all again. I was like, shit, bring it on.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. Because, I mean, if you think about it, I do the same thing from a client point of view. My first meetings with clients are really boring. Well, they're interesting to see what people want, but I'm basically like, what do you want to do? I'm like, it's not what I want to do. It's like, what do you want to do?
What is their story? I mean, on customer, average Joe customer that you get in, what is their story on what they're wanting and where are you taking them? I'm trying to get more direct on what y'all provide.
So that is a direct result of marketing, right? When I market around tax planning, income planning, and legacy planning. So what all my clients are coming in for are just those three topics. And so, but that is a direct result for marketing, right? That's what we market in all of our seminars, my radio shows, everything that we put out to the public. It's always those three things: tax planning,
how to lower their taxes,
how to make their money tax-free. It is always the same thing over and over again. It's those three different topics. So for me personally, that's nothing more than a marketing target audience. What are you putting out? And what you're putting out is ultimately what you're going to come back in. So from a business owner, I find out less is more.
Yeah.
Be specific on what you want. You said Rob the IRA guy a while back.
Yeah.
Well, that name, Tommy, actually came from an event that I went to in San Francisco where a genius marketing guy was talking. He was like, what do you do? And I got to thinking about it. He goes, what do you mean, what do I do? I'm a financial planner. He goes, yeah, that doesn't tell me anything.
Who is it?
He was like, and the way that he put it, it's kind of like the real estate agent that says, oh, I do commercial, I do leases, I do lakeside, I do this, I do. I'm like, no, you're just throwing a bunch of crap up against the wall. You are, and the way that he put it, like, who makes more money? The general practitioner or the foot surgeon? He goes, well, the foot surgeon makes more money. I literally, out of that meeting, Tommy, he asked me, where is your business coming from? And who are the people and who are your highest ticket items? I walked out of that meeting like 4 or 5 different times, called staff. Who is this? Who is that? Pull folders. Who is this? And finally, at the end of the day, what I figured out was who my staff was, who my clients were, what age they were, and where my biggest ticket items came from. And guess where they came from? IRAs. So that's how I came up with Rob the IRA. And it was very specific. What do you do? I do IRAs. I am the IRA expert. And as a result, when I looked at my peers, what their average case size was and what mine was, I was double or triple what they were because I was targeting their biggest retirement account. So I ended up becoming a IRA expert
Yeah.
And with that IRA expert, you got to be able to have tax experts on staff. And now as the business went all these years, well, unfortunately, these people are passing away. So now you're getting into tax planning, income planning, estate planning, because it was kind of a natural progression of it.
Yeah.
But I am still that way. I do tax planning. And the reason you do tax planning, if you come to me because you have a tax problem, is because you have money.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have money, you don't have a tax problem and you don't need me. So it's just a natural result of I do tax planning and I tell people I do tax planning, and sometimes they're like, I can't help you. I'm like, well, why not? You don't have any money, so you don't have a tax problem. So you don't need my services. And that's kind of how I market things.
They want you to do their W-2 form for $38,000.
Yeah, but then you'd be surprised, right? It's their W-2s and all their 1099s for it, and they only live off of Social Security. But guess one thing that they've never paid taxes on? It's that IRA that's been growing tax deferred for all these years. So all of a sudden, now it's 73. They start requirement minimum distribution, and guess who I target from my dinner workshops? People that are turning 73 because they've got that problem, and so.
They start taxing them at 73?
73 is when Uncle Sam, 73.
Why does the government do that to these people that have saved their money their whole life?
Because they've let them grow tax deferred for all these years, and people don't realize it. And from a tax point of view, not that this is a tax podcast, but when people start taking money out for requirement minimum distribution, income taxes is now related to a bunch of other taxes. It jumps lanes multiple different times. You pay more in income taxes, you pay more in capital gains taxes, more in Social Security taxes, more in Medicare taxes. So it's not just an IRA distribution all the time. And then also in IRAs, right? The older you get, the more money you got to take out.
So we're really actually never going to get rich.
No. Get rid of and then here's the scary part, right? All these IRA accounts that are growing tax deferred, they've never been taxed before, they're at the mercy of Congress. I mean, think about it. If tomorrow Congress goes, all IRAs are taxed at 50%, people just lost 50% of their money.
Oh.
So from a marketing point of view, right? It makes it a little bit easier. Like as a landscaper, to me, I would be like, I would start marketing brand new houses.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that need landscaping. You know, they get it from their homeowner with their shitty little yard and their one little oak tree.
That they do.
But those are the people. I mean, how did you market landscaping?
Oh man, when we got to New Braunfels, it was great. But I started out. This is a marketing hack for any service business. I would buy baseball card plastic sleeves, because they were cheap. And then I would have business cards and I would slide them in there and we would drive and I would fling them out of my truck and I would have them hit right by the front door or right by the trash can so they could throw them away.
Yeah.
And then when people would say, and that was when we first started. So those baseball sleeves were X amount of dollars, maybe $100. And then the business cards were $100. Well, that was my marketing budget.
Yeah.
$200, $300, $500, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we would get about a 1% or 0.5% return on all of those baseball cards. But at the same time, and they were business cards in a baseball card sleeve.
Yeah.
And man, you could fling those things 30 feet out. And you would get calls. So why'd you throw this in my yard? And I think that was the original haters, right? They didn't have Facebook then.
Yeah.
They didn't have all the keyboard warriors. So those were the haters then.
Yeah.
And I would tell them, well, ma'am, I really care about the young kids. And that's a baseball card sleeve in case they want to use it.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, okay, never mind. I'm not mad now. But if I was really doing good and really making money, I could order 5,000 sleeves at once.
Yeah.
And if we're really getting fancy, I could actually get that business card about a 1/2 inch bigger to fill up the whole sleeve.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that it was that tight?
Yeah.
And then you could blanket, neighborhoods with those things. And it said, we guarantee we're the best lawn service in the area and we're willing to prove it for $20. And then the back side would say, we also do, tree trimming, concrete, this
all
and
the other
that.
stuff. Yeah.
And man, we would fling those out until we got so busy we couldn't see straight.
But so, I mean, that's what drummed up all your business.
Yeah, most of it.
And everybody says, oh, that stuff doesn't work. I always like the people that come to my house, and I really do. They're the ones that are like, hey, I just mowed the yard of the neighbor's yard. Look how good it looks.
Yeah.
You want your yard to look as good. It's kind of like, you just came, knocked on my door. I'm like, yeah, my yard does look like shit.
Yeah.
Why don't you come fix this?
No, that's really how all mine started. And then as you get more money or revenue, you can experiment with other forms of marketing. And then when we got into New Braunfels, I got lucky enough to buy that spot on I-35. I think it was $110,000. I was going to buy where the Chicken Express was on Highway 46 by the airport for $140, or I got the spot on I-35 for like $110.
That spot has been so many different things.
I know.
Yeah.
But I traded a guy a advanced auto parts sign. He was a sign guy, and he put that Mile High Yard Works on there.
Yeah.
Then we sent out those direct mailers, but in the Value Pack magazine.
I remember those.
And we got the back cover because nobody looks at the inside.
Yeah.
So the front cover is expensive as shit. The back cover is cheap. But which way's the mail guy going to put it in there? Who knows?
Who knows? You got a 50-50 shot at it.
Yeah. So we had the back cover. And then that was when I remember that I was spending about $5,000 to $7,000 a month in advertising in New Braunfels. But there wasn't one person in New Braunfels that didn't know who Mile High Yard Works was because of the damn big sign. And then because they were getting our stuff. And then you put the logos on the back of the tailgates, and then all of a sudden brand recognition. And this is all doing this organically and not having any freaking clue what I'm doing, not studying any of this shit.
But that is when you're talking about marketing. That's something that I'm finding out with our business. It's not just one thing. It's the radio, it's the TV, it's the billboards, it's this. It's all the things that are all of a sudden tying things together. And the other thing that it does, when somebody recognizes your brand like that, when they do call you, they're already more than halfway committed, because it's not like you have built a trust in your marketing. So by the time that they do engage Mile High Yard Club or Mile High Yard Club or the Mile High, right? They're already there. They already trust what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's 90% of it. And we see that a lot in our business too.
It's such a weird thing to look back, like Clayton the Lawn Kid. He's still on my phone as Clayton the Lawn Kid. And us coming up mowing grass at 19, 20, 21. And
he's still doing it, I think.
Yeah, he does. He does it all over.
He's got a place up at 725.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's weird that it's neat to see. And that's the whole point of this podcast is business stories. And we haven't really, we've gone all over the place and it's been good. But, to the 18, 19, 20-year-old that is going to go start an insurance company or a landscape business, what advice would you have for a kid that's about to go get busy?
Make sure that you show up, do the right thing, but also develop a small business plan that has some kind of liquid money involved. People that start these businesses that are broke, man, you got to be so careful, because things are going to go good and things are going to go bad. You got to make sure you have enough liquid money in the bank to make sure that all your dreams come true, because if you don't have enough capital in the bank, things that are going good can go bad so fast, and everything you've worked for, you have to start over again. And then once you do get things going, keep them going. Like, don't stop. It's just, you'd be surprised how well you are when you are broke.
Yeah.
But you're working some type of plan, right?
Yeah.
If you're just out there bouncing around every single day trying to figure out what works, it's kind of like you're starting over. I'm like, come up with a business plan and work it. You might have to tweak it a little bit, but don't walk away from what you know that works. If you say the baseball cards worked and you get one lead from it, don't stop doing that. Just keep working it, but have some kind of business plan, some kind of plan that you're actually working.
Or a goal that you're working towards.
Yes.
And if you have zero money and you're starting a business, I think you can't have a pool of money when you start out. But I think Rob's kind of saying take a little bit and chunk it back to savings for the shitty times. And, I've been guilty of going over that edge several times.
You and I have both been.
Yeah.
You and I have both been.
But,
it sucks.
it does suck. But if you're saving 10% of your actual revenue for a shitstorm, you're going to be so much better off than if you were just blowing it off for your big F-250 or your whatever. And it's interesting, how your priorities change as you get older. And at some point, if you're really hustling and working hard, you buy everything you ever wanted.
Correct.
And Rob's proof and I'm proof that you can only have so many houses in so many spots before you can't even maintain them all.
And nor do you want them anymore. No.
You can't go there.
No.
You can't spend enough time.
It doesn't do crap for you.
No.
All it does, I mean, we've had the offshore boats. I've done this, and don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed the crap out of them. It didn't get me anywhere. Don't get me wrong. It's not like my clients jumped on there. So if you start a new business, enjoy being broke and enjoy not having car payments. You don't need the F-250. I mean, this came to your podcast today. What is it, a Kia?
Kia Soul out there.
Kia Soul with 200,000 miles on it. Hasn't been washed. And guess what?
Nope.
The guy owns 9 restaurants, has all these businesses. What do you drive a Kia Soul?
I was cruising the Kia Soul today. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
It happens.
You know what? And that is, if there is one thing, Tommy, that I had a chance to go back and do in business.
Yeah.
I'd have 3 times the amount of money in the bank if I just realized that you don't need the Lexus. The Kia Soul works just fine. It has nothing to do with keeping up with the Joneses. You keep up with the Joneses, you could ruin a business before it ever gets started.
I think you and I have spent more money on cars than anybody we know.
I am still guilty of it. I'm such a car nut. I love it.
How come every car that you want? I think it's just our mindset of this car is going to actually do what I want, and then
never does.
And then it only takes sometimes you're like, hey, this car's doing what I want, but it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. It might take a month or it might take 6 months to go. Nah, I need another car. And then part of it is scrolling the internet for the car that you want, finding it at a good price. That whole process that could take, it depends on where you're at in life. That might take a week. It might take 6 months to find that car, but it's like a emotional high and low to go get that thing.
That is it right there. It is nothing more than an emotional high to go get it.
And then you cruise that car and the new wears off in about 3 weeks.
And if you could spend that, and think about it, if you could spend that same time and energy on your business, it would run so much better and so much more efficient. But when you go back to the young guy, I mean, think about the day that we first started our business. So excited about it, so much joy, so much get up early in the morning. And after owning it for 26 years now, I am back in that mode of enjoying working because it's just growing again, right?
But you're working on completely different things and focused on completely different things now than you were right when you started.
Completely different things. Like I said, back then it was making it. And then quite honestly, you've made it, but you didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And so then you just worked it and you were successful, but you weren't growing it. You were just enjoying that it was working, right?
Yeah.
And now that, you've got years of experience on you, you're kind of like, okay, do I want this to grow? I mean,
do you think as an entrepreneur that you can ever really relax in your business?
No, I cannot.
It's never going to be a 9-to-5 paycheck. And if you stop taking care of the baby, it starts sinking.
It does. We went through it, Tommy, during COVID, because during COVID, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to retire. And I think I told a bunch of you guys, I'm like, I'm just going to take care of my existing clients. And what you just said, it's your business either growing or it's dying. And I came back after a year from being in Key West and, man, walked in the office and it stunk. I mean, the mood in that office stunk. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? People were not in a good mood. It was just foul. I mean, it just blah. And so we had to make a decision, either sell it, get rid of it, or grow it. And Heather was bored anyways. She didn't like being in Key West that long of a period of time. She goes, I want to grow it. And I went, I wasn't quite ready to do it yet, but now that it's growing, it's been a pain in the butt. Don't get me wrong. There's some days I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't need to be doing this. Because in addition to the financial planning, we still have the real estate business.
What do y'all do with real estate?
I converted all of my rental homes into storage barns. And mainly now I've got a couple of them that are storage barns, but they don't pay the bills.
Well, when you say you converted your rentals, Rob went through a phase where he's trying to buy a damn rental every other month.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I bought a whole bunch of them.
And so you sold all that and turned it into storage units?
So first and foremost, there was a period of time when I realized how expensive houses were. And I'm like, man, what I can make in profit today, I got to sit here and charge like next 10 years in rent for. So I'm like, forget this. I'm selling all these damn things. Mm-hmm. So what I did there is the first thing Heather and I did, started selling the homes, paid the taxes on them, which was, paid the taxes on it. Heather and I got debt free. And then once we did that, we were sitting on a couple huge chunks of money.
Yeah.
And I kept looking for things to reinvest it in. And at this point in time, I was thinking retirement. I wasn't thinking growth. I was thinking income. Mm-hmm. And I found a boat storage barn in Port O'Connor. Mm-hmm. And Heather and I wrote a check for it and just kind of kept adding on to that portfolio. So we've got a bunch of boat storage now. And then we also messing with traditional storage, like your 5x5s, your 10x10s.
Yeah.
I hate those things. I hate them.
Oh, really?
Well, somebody has a boat barn, somebody puts their $100,000 boat in your barn, they're going to make the payment.
Yeah.
Somebody is storing their crap in a 5x5 that you're charging $65 for. You have to go chase your money down.
I like that everybody says, and this is a good example of everybody's going to say, oh, the storage units just make money. And then you try it and you hear what Rob has to say is it sucks.
Well, those storage units for me suck. The 5x5 and the 10x10s.
Yeah.
The boat storage are phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, like I said, somebody puts their $100,000 boat in your boat barn, they're going to make the payments and they have a little bit of, it's just a different thing.
Yeah.
And then same thing talking about being an entrepreneur, too much time on your hand.
Yeah.
Scrolling the old Facebook and like, is that an RV park for sale?
Oh, shit.
So now we developed another little, super small, but I put 6 tiny homes on a lot that is now, I was thinking it was going to be long-term rental. Mm-hmm. Now it's a VRBO. And so now we're running 6 VRBOs. So when you say what time of day does your day start, it's like, well, if it's not the VRBOs, and then it's not the financial planning business, and if it's not all of that, then it's a storage unit, and it's just between the 3 of them, it's like it's nonstop.
Yeah.
Like, where do you? And we kind of enjoy it, but there's some days that you're like, oh, why? Like you just don't have any time off. And
I tell people that I work like with the no time off thing. I say that I do everything I want while I'm working. If I want to go to Port A, I go to Port A, but I have to work down there. If I want to go to Lubbock, I go to Lubbock. I fly airplanes. I do that. It's work. But I don't believe much in a work-life balance. If you're looking for a work-life balance, 9 to 5 is a wonderful option. And 7 to 6 would be a much better paying option at the same job.
Yeah, because hey, where do you want to take it to? I mean, if you want all these things, you got to go work for them. And even don't get me wrong, the storage units are somewhat hands off. They don't take a lot of time, but you add it on top of the time that the other things take, and the other things take, and next thing you know, you between the 3 of them, you just got a full-time job. And thank gosh we enjoy doing them.
Yeah,
we definitely enjoy the money off of it because it gives you financial security. But it's at the end of the day, it's not. I don't know of any job where you're going to say, oh, there's nothing here required. I have met, I don't know how many business guys, I haven't met one that says I make tons of money, my job's easy, I don't do shit. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Well, so what, based on all that you've said, what advice would you give, what advice would 52-year-old Rob give 20-year-old Rob if he was going to go on the same journey?
Quit buying cars, you idiot. The journey that I would give myself looking back on having 3 wonderful, amazing kids, there's got to be a work balance there, because I believe that part of the reason why I'm successful now is because I worked hard. I spend way too much money on bullshit. But at the same time, young Rob would have been better off spending more quality time with young Max, with young Jack, and young Colton. So if there's one thing in business that I would go back, it would be quit buying the stupid cars. Figured out. I just didn't know how to handle the money we were making. Does that make sense? Because like all of a sudden we went from being very successful to having a house at the lake, having a ski boat, and having this. And old Rob would tell young Rob, the value, what really is, wasn't in the money. It was in your family. And so now I've got the relationship with the kids, like even today.
Were you present in the kids' lives when they were growing up, or were you just working and you just around not enough?
That's it right there. I was physically there. Was I present? That's questionable. Especially now, we talked about drinking too much and doing stuff. And Tommy, there was days that, you worked all day, then I had seminars at night. And I do remember we had an agency there for a while when we had other financial advisors. And then, so it was not only that part of the business was clients, and then we had another separate part of the business that was seeing agents. Well, then agents come in from out of town. You're having to entertain those guys, making money hand over fist. But I left at 6 o'clock in the morning, came home at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, you were there. The kids saw you, but were you present? Not even freaking close.
Yeah, I don't want to have any regrets like that. And I'm divorced, and my kids are 20 minutes away, but thank God we have cell phones and call and try to do stuff on the weekends. But I just don't, then you get with the kids and they're playing on their phone bored.
Yeah, well, that's,
so it's like.
Yeah. How old are your kids now?
Oh, shit. Kylie's turning 17 in a couple days. Yeah. And Landon's 15, just got his first kiss a couple days ago.
Did he tell you about it?
Oh, he tells me everything. So I have a good relationship with the kids. I think it could always be better. There could be more time, but damn, there's no doubt that I've put work in front of the kids several times. I mean, many weekends and many things. And
yeah, but don't you agree that any good, I think if there's a commonality of all people that own businesses from scratch, there's got to be that. I mean,
it is, and it sucks. It just kind of sucks, but they do have the best mom on the planet. She's a wonderful mom, and I'm available, but I wish I could do better. But that's one of the things that you're saying. And
I'm sorry. If you want to build a successful business, it takes time, and you got to make sacrifices. And unfortunately, I sacrificed the wrong thing, like old Rob to young Rob. I could have done a better job. However, it takes, Elon Musk, he's not sitting in lap of luxury. He's still working. He's still growing stuff. He's sacrificing a lot. And I think all business owners sacrifice something. And unfortunately, the family probably is the first one to pay the price, I'd imagine. So that's definitely what I would say. Once you do become successful, I wish I would have spent. I wish I was more present with the kids. But at the same time, for young Rob, like 19, 20-year-old people that are starting a yard service, work your ass off. I'm sorry. I think right now, if you just show up every single day and work your ass off, you're 90% of the way there. A lot of people are not willing to make that sacrifice anymore.
I think showing up is 90% of the battle.
Yeah. No. Show up. Like I said, I think the work ethic today is less and less and less. You don't see too many more people starting, lawn services or financial planning companies, or, everybody wants the stuff given to them. It's like, yeah.
So how has your definition of success changed over the past 20 years? And what is your definition of success today? What's it look like?
Same thing. What it looks like now is showing up to work every day and being excited about work. Because something that I've learned, different levels, just because you make it to the next level doesn't mean you made it, right?
No, not at all.
I think at some point in time, we all said as entrepreneurs, well, if we make our first 100,000,
Yes.
Solid. We're there.
Oh, everybody.
Not even close.
And what that's a huge point that I don't think people believe. What happens when you make your first 100,000?
Nothing.
And then you make your first million. What happens?
Nothing. No, something.
There's no trophy.
There's no. But here's what happened. You make the 100,000. You go to a new level, right? And some of your old problems went away. But at the 100,000 level, guess what? You got a new set of problems.
Yeah.
And so with every level, it is a new set of problems. And I think as a business entrepreneur, something that you have to get really good at is knowing problems are going to be there, and you better get excited about fixing them. Because if you're not excited about fixing problems, you won't grow. Like I said, we talked about it earlier in the podcast. I'm struggling right now to grow the business because I got to figure out how to get out of my own way. Well, if I want to grow the business, I better get excited about solving this problem, because if we don't get excited about solving the problem, it's not going to get solved. And it's business, the level that I'm at right now, and the same thing I'd imagine your business, it's solving problems.
What does getting out of your own way today mean? What is the ideal person? What would they do for you today?
Meaning, what do I need to do?
For you to get out of your own way, if you had the perfect hire, what does that person look like? That way, if anybody's looking or listening and has this guy or girl,
really what I need in my business right now, what I need to do is get out of my own way. I am not a good people person as far as hiring and firing people. It is not me. Yeah. What I am good at is talking to clients, selling plans. Other than that, I am worthless. So me trying to do something that I'm not good at is only hurting my business.
Yeah.
So what I need right now really is a business development manager, to somebody that's goes and hires people and say, hey, Robert, this is the right guy or wrong girl or whatever the case is. I need somebody that can actually do this.
Yeah.
Because when I get involved, it gets expensive for two different ways. I am taking away from what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Not only physically the time taking away, but also the mentally. Like you're not 100% engaged anymore with what you're good at. And then you're doing something that you suck at.
Yeah.
So now you're pulling on both opposite ends, and it gets expensive and you're not going anywhere. So it's realizing very quickly, what are you good at, and do those things. And if you're not good at it,
let somebody else
do it and figure out what your time is worth there.
And you've been holding on to that bad habit for 26 years.
Yep. It's just a control thing. It's just a control thing. And then also, in my defense, right or wrong or indifferent, when you say what does success look like, listen, I get to do whatever I want to do. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. I don't. Tomorrow I could shut the shop down tomorrow, and Heather and I can retire. So what is getting in my own way is, do you really want to do this, or do you not want to do it? But we're just at that point. Which way do you want to go? I mean, same to you. Do you need 9 restaurants?
I think for me, and it might be the same thing for you, is I just don't feel like I have reached the peak of my abilities with regards to the amount of personnel that we can manage, restaurants that we can manage. And then I see the foundation. One of my shittiest days is realizing that I have a wonderful employee that works for me, or somebody that wants to work or do something for us, and then I don't have somewhere to plug them in. That shit drives me nuts. And I have 3 to 4, 5 high-level people right now that I could plug in, and I don't have anywhere for them to go. And I don't like that at all.
So in other words, you don't have another restaurant to plug them into?
A restaurant or someone to grow part of we do a bunch of construction stuff. I just don't have anywhere to plug them in, and I hate it.
That is such a good position to be at in business.
Yeah, I guess, except it drives me nuts. I mean, I got people I wish I could hire right now, so much so that I don't even tell other people about them because they're that type of person.
Yeah, I wish I had that problem. I mean, my if I had that problem, my business would be soaring.
I might have you meet with this one girl that I like. She's getting tired of her job. That's the other thing, is these people get They come to Beer House or Miguel's. We know them. We learn. We know they're rock stars.
Yeah.
They move up. They go somewhere else to a professional company. They work there 2 or 3 years. We already know they're rock stars. They're rock stars at the new company. Now they're 27, 28, and they're ready to roll. Like, hey, boss, put me in. I'm like, I don't have anywhere. I got a good chick out of Dallas that could, she could probably help you.
Yeah.
At least you'll have to set up a meeting with her.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love it. Like I said, it's different. It's different business. Let me ask you this to throw it back on you. Where do you see most business from all the interviews that you've done? Where do you see people struggling at in business?
I don't know where I would say I don't know where most of the majority would struggle. I think, again, it comes down to their personality type, because to get the ship off the dock, you've got to have some momentum. It can't be weak. You can't half-ass start this business.
No.
So the entrepreneur in the type A mindset is usually all the way in. They're committed, right?
Yeah.
But where their personality lacks, whether it's on marketing, whether it's on sales, whether it's managing people, whether it's following up, is where they start to fail. But I would say, if I had to pick one spot where new business people fail, is they don't realize what it takes. And it's the circle of everything, the time it takes, the family, the wife saying, Rob, why are you at work at 9:30? And then you're saying, hey, babe, I'm over here because this person's here because and they're like, well, I don't give a shit. And you're like, but if I don't do this in the early days, we probably won't have our mortgage.
Yeah.
So I'm over here. But I see a lack of commitment. I call it wantrepreneurism, where they want to do shit forever and they talk about it forever. Instead of entrepreneurism. But the level of commitment is, I don't see it there.
No, it is hard work. Like I said, you're talking about business, and you don't realize how much more there is to just starting a business. I mean, you're talking about accounting, you're talking about payroll, you're talking about this, you're talking about that. And all that stuff takes time, right?
Holy crap, just learning payroll, taxes, liquor taxes, sales taxes, all of that shit. It has to be paid by the 20th. Hey, we got a pile of money from this restaurant for a month, and we spent some extra money on a car or this or that. Oh yeah, sales taxes due. I don't have it. What's the problem? So now we've learned we move sales tax every single day. We move, and you lighten all these loads on you. But I had something for you. Oh, you have a good problem. I mean, businesses all have the same thing. It's marketing, acquiring a customer, servicing the customer through the lifespan of that customer.
Yeah.
But you have a good thing if you have as many leads coming in as you can handle, and you've got that bottleneck on what to do with the leads. So as a high level guy, you need to focus on that right now, because where you focus time, energy, and effort, think of how many hundreds of thousands of problems you've solved.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
You solve them every single day. And if you put your mind on this, where you're bottlenecking, it's going to get solved. And the answer is who. It's not how. The answer is who can solve this problem.
Yeah.
So you got to find who.
And then keep going back, right? And I think for other business owners, it's don't just stop. I mean, you're solving problems. You're not going to solve it immediately. It's like you solve them, you bump your head. That didn't work. Well, that doesn't mean you still got to go back and solve the problem. If that's what you want to get accomplished, it's learning how to solve problems, and you better get damn excited about it, because there's crap that pops up every single day. Every single day.
But your bottleneck, you got to find somebody, and you can't find them because you're not good at hiring.
No, I suck at it. Because I believe the best in everybody.
Me too.
Like, let's go. And to me, it's like, it's easy. Let's do this. And it's like, no, it is not. I'm sorry. I might make it sound easy, but it's not. It's 26 years of experience. And for me, the hard thing is business. Do the things that you're good at. And I learned that from a buddy of mine, Chris Corjay.
Yeah.
We sat down in business one day, and he goes, let's figure out what your hourly rate is. And I said, what do you mean my hourly rate? He goes, how much you make this week? How many hours did you spend? How many is this? And he calculated my hourly rate, and it was something like $1,000 an hour. Mm-hmm. And I grew my business so much in that meeting, because he was like, if you're making $1,000 an hour, why are you doing back then $8 an hour stuff?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense for you to do $8 an hour stuff. He goes, are you good at accounting? I'm like, no. He goes, then why are you doing accounting? Pay somebody $20 an hour to do your accounting, go to your CPA. So we learned once we started making money, in order for us to continue to make money, we had to pawn a couple things off. But this one, the hiring people, I'm just...
Well, give it up.
Well, the more I bump my head and the bruisier this big old nose of mine gets, it's getting closer and closer.
Give it up.
Giving it up.
I don't talk to, one thing I gave up is I don't talk to people about money at work. I don't set their rates. I don't set any of that. I have my partner Daniel and the lady Connie that run my life do it. I'm not doing it. I fuck it up every time.
I do too. I overpromise.
Waiting to go. Yeah, I messed it up every time. So I told Daniel shit probably 2 years ago. I'm done. I don't want to. And then I had this one hire a couple of weeks ago where I go, you know what? Stop. You're going over here. You got to go talk to Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm just the lawn guy. Leave me alone. So
maybe I need to say that. I just go bring him and go, here's Heather.
Yeah.
Here's Heather. Heather just puts him on there.
You should. Well, speaking of work-life balance, it's 8:40 on a Sunday night, and we're at work.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Hey, buddy, I want to thank you so much for bringing me on. I've been bugging you for a while to do this, so thank you so much.
It's been fun. Let's wrap it up and get out of here.
Get out of here.
Where can people find you, though, at First Fidelity Wealth Management?
FirstFidelityWealthManagement.com or phone number 830-643-0467. Those places are always good places to find me.
Sweet. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for watching Business Under Fire. We'd love it if you would share, like, and subscribe. See you next time.